Yeah. I love it.
That's easier. You guys work together.
Exactly.
I know. There we go. Problem solving.
Didn't want you guys to think we were ruining our record of being late each time. We'll learn our lesson. We have to take more time. Where do you want to start?
Well, I think the department chairs and the evaluation issue are going to be bigger conversations than we can have in, 20 minutes. So we'll probably take these up again in a future session. But kind of want to give you a little bit of feedback on the other pieces of Articles 3 and 4. On Article 3, the big thing here is the kind of election of remedies bit. We're thinking about, we want to, I think, try and get a little more information about how exactly, how significant of a compromise of potential members' rights it would be to say grievance or judicial action, not both. I don't think it's very often that people choose, at least our members, at least when they have the option to choose a grievance or judicial action, they usually choose the grievance because it's free. They're a member, right? They don't have to retain their own attorney. So I'd just like to see if anyone's had any situations where they really regretted agreeing to something like that before we offer a counter. But like we discussed, I think we understand the concern here and are definitely sensitive to it and want to try and meet it. On the dues deduction piece, we don't necessarily have a big problem with kind of what you're outlining here. We do think that however this works, we should be able to do it at least once a year. I mean, whenever our proposal was, whenever there's a base salary increase, which presumably would only happen once a year. So we think once every 2 years is a little bit too infrequent for us. We'd like to at least be able to do it once a year. If not immediately following, maybe within 10 days. I mean, you guys can, I guess, have a conversation to figure that out how quickly you can.
I think we talked a little about that. I think annually would not be a problem from our perspective. They reminded me that typically wage increases are effective usually July 1st. So I don't know if it makes sense to even put sometime after July 1 or whatever. I don't know if that's always going to be the case, but or leave it open-ended once a year. We'll commit to doing this process or going through that. However you want to do it, I think we're on.
Also, we talked about, the fact that these contracts don't go in the system until a little later, right before the semester starts, so it's not, they're not in the system. The P&Ls can run on the new rate.
So if we were doing sort of an audit once a year, what would be like your time frame to look at that information?
That's when the contracts start going in.
I guess the only kind of hang up there is now that we're doing this way, as you know, sometimes after August, by the time you come to an agreement on wages, and then you get into this, well, you need to make it retroactive, blah, blah, blah. And so sometimes the effective pay change will just end up being after July 1st because you might not finish the contract in time.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's maybe just leave the actual date out, just put it once a year. And we'd want it to come, the trigger to come from the union. So tell us okay, let's do this. And then we'll do it, because to me, if you ask for it in July, then we might say, well, why don't we wait till August, because we're about to put all this info in the system. But business is business, you guys aren't ready to do it in August, and get to it in January, that's fine. I mean, ideally, you'd want to do it right soon after it goes into effect, pay changes, so that their mistakes catch quicker, right? But like you said, that may be typical in August, but it may not be all the time, so. I don't know if that even needs to be in the contract. We leave it in your hands, or however you want to do it.
Yeah, well, it sounds like probably it's just a fairly straightforward modification of our last proposal, so we're happy to look at that.
So you want to come back to us and with them?
Yeah, we'll work on that one. On 4.5, access to information, we would be willing to accept this section as proposed with one kind of change. I'll kind of explain the reason for it. There's been I think when you explain the rationale for your section 4 on not using this article to form the basis for an alleged grievance, first of all, I think you mean probably this section, right? It's just a section within an article. But, that aside, there is legal recourse if the union or any individual, any member of the public wants to get access to this information and feels like the college is not abiding by public records law, they can pursue that in courts, and I know from experience that courts are very aggressive in enforcing it. We wouldn't have an issue saying that something to the effect that the question of whether something is a public record is not subject to a grievance, because that's something that's, by court standards at least, be quickly and expeditiously resolved. And in practice, I think most of the time you'll probably get a call and you'll tell them, yes, that's public record, you need to give it to them before we even get to that stage. But there's other commitments in here as well, namely the time frame commitment you kind of proposed. I mean, I think we would want to be able to grieve that and say, look, you agreed to follow this time frame, you're not doing it, so we want to file a grievance over that. But I think we're willing to forego determination of what is a public record in the arbitral forum. So I don't know if that helps, but that's kind of our thought on it. We want to be able to enforce timelines, but we're okay not using the grievance process to enforce what is and isn't a public record.
My initial reaction,
Pardon me.
my initial reaction is that might get us to the finish line on that. And if you've got specific language that you want to come back with that, look at, but we got to talk about that obviously on our side, but I'm not terribly predisposed to. I think we just, if it's a public records issue, is it a public record or not? Do we have an obligation to turn over that and go through the public records lawsuit? It's the time, whatever, any other of these provisions, I don't think we're terribly opposed to having that go through grievance.
Okay, yeah, we'll come back with something on that then. But that was just kind of our position there. And we'll have to have a bigger conversation amongst ourselves about these other things. We may or may not be able to bring something back by next time, but it will be.
Just so you know, for Lorella pointing out to me here is that the subsection E on what's now my 6E is the date of entering the union's bargaining unit is not something we capture yet. And whether or not we can have some discussion on that, we can. I mean, presumably that's when they're hired. But,
Yeah.
or get into a faculty position if they were at John or something along those lines. So we may want to tweak that a little bit. And
Yeah, there are some institutions where the bargaining unit is defined slightly differently and people kind of slide in and out a bit more fluidly. Like I know at a lot of these state universities, for instance, department chairs are not in the unit, right? But they are only in the unit or they're only department chair for 2 years at a time or whatever. So they kind of just sort of wiggle in and out of the unit. And that's information that we would want to be captured. That may have implications for some sort of seniority provision. or
Maybe I'll
something like
do that too, because I doubt it's gonna come very often, but really, it's gonna be the date of hire,
Yeah,
unless you're in a
95% of the
position
time.
change. From in and out, and that should be, we might be able to capture, we'll talk about that. Okay. We would also, when you put together your, language on the point you just mentioned, I would change, Brian Horn mentioned earlier on that subsection 5 here, the submission to the Division of Florida College to the Auditor General, just to clean it up a little bit, if you want our annual financial that goes in.
Yep.
Just so 5 years from now, no one's confused as to what we're supposed to provide.
Okay.
Hold on one second before we move on. We can specifically talk about this, but I don't think we had an issue with your change, the document containing this information. Same information request, but they added this. You know, they want
Just
us
clarifying
to give like a
what's within the
spreadsheet
document.
instead of just giving them 10,000. Here's, we can find that info. We can talk about it. I don't think that.
Just logistics.
You can leave that in other words, I think we won't have an issue with it, but we'll talk further. Okay, that's 4.5.
So I think we've kind of covered, or touched at least, all the things that have gone back and forth today. I forget if there was something that we brought that I haven't had a chance to.
The only thing that we saw, that was in addition, leaving the evaluation and department chairs for a later date, for you guys to come back with, is we were okay with President, 4.6, your suggestion on the annual meeting with the president and more frequent meetings with president or designee. So from our perspective, we're on board with your language if we want to from next time around or whatnot, sign off on it.
Okay, yeah, we can do that next time.
We can, I prefer to kind of set it out from, like we did the others, but if we want to, I'll bring back 4.6 with just your language. We can initial next time around.
Just out of curiosity, did you get a chance to talk about 4.4 at all? We were, I think, kind of hoping.
Yeah, 4.3, 4, and 2, I think we want to kick it around a little bit more and come back to propose. We're getting close to what we think.
Okay.
Have some further consideration before responding. So where I have it, just some file here is for next meeting, we'll hopefully sign off on 4.6, tentative agreement. On 4.1, dues deduction, 4.5, request for information, and 3.5, non-discrimination. You guys had some tweaks that you'll come back to us with. And also on the evaluation of department chairs, we look for you guys to kind of respond. to
Yeah.
those points here, and we'll look at 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, and come back on those.
Yeah, I think, we understand the ball's in our court, certainly on 8. On evaluations and department chairs, may or may not be able to do that by next time, we'll see, hopefully.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's going to need to be for next meeting. Some of these things obviously take a little more time than others, so I'm just saying it's in your court.
Yeah.
4.2, 4.3, 4.4 in our court, 4.6 tentative agreement. And that leaves new topics for next time around.
We gave you, I believe, let me double check, but I believe we gave you a proposal on Article 5 last time, grievance. That might have been, maybe a bigger one to think about, but that's
Yeah.
all that's in your court.
It is in our court. We haven't reached a consensus on our side yet, so we'll come back to that as well. I'll make a note of that.
Okay, that's fine. So topics for next time. Well, I know we actually didn't talk again about that today, but I know last time we were interested in putting discipline on the docket, Article 6. That may help us with a couple of other pieces of things that are out there as well to see kind of where we're going.
When is our next meeting? Do we have that already?
I think it's another 3 weeks. I think it's April 12th.
At the North Campus.
3 weeks from today. All right, well, let's try and commit to discipline balls in our court on that since you have a proposal, so we'll endeavor to do it. I just want to make sure we have sufficient time. We had also looked at a couple of others. I thought that might be more straightforward too, that get out of the way. Using the numbers from your proposal. In Article 9, there were a few that Section 3, 10, and 11, which is course syllabus, substitute teaching, business and professional expenses.
Article 9, Section 3, Article 9, Section 10, Article 9, Section 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to put those on the agenda too, because discipline will probably be more detailed discussion with some of these others. We can start hopefully get some agreements on set aside.
Okay.
And on the dates for future bargaining session, I think probably we talked about trying to get consensus on our side in a short period of time was difficult, so we don't have any dates. What I'm thinking is send to you guys, I'll email you over the next week what we have on our side for the next 3-4 months, essentially. Maybe you guys do the same, but we need to coordinate. Summer is a little more difficult. College is of May 4th. It's 4 days, 10 on a 4-day weekend. Or
4-day
So-
weekend. 4-day work week.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sign up.
Is that in the contract?
Well, we had a bit of a general discussion. Let me tell you what we were thinking.
All right.
If you can, in your discussion, decide you can accommodate it, great. If not, we'll think of something else. But we were hoping that it might even be possible to just have like a regular weekly time, location. Maybe like this campus every like Tuesday or Thursday or something. And just at least have the room reserved and scheduled, and then for some reason or other we can't do it, but just at least try and just meet frequently and try and get through as much of as much stuff as we can while faculty are freer to kind of engage in that. Our thought was do it Tuesday or Thursday. I know everyone on our bargaining team is going to try and arrange their summer schedules, whatever summer teaching they're doing, to only be on Monday and Wednesday for that purpose. And then if we kind of do it in a single time and location, then maybe people who are close to other campuses can do. It was being explained, I've obviously never seen this, but it was being explained to me that You can kind of like tele video conference in the different board meeting rooms at all the different campuses. So someone can kind of be on North Campus and watch what's going on the boardroom on West Campus. That's,
Yes.
so maybe we could do that or get that set up on at least one of the other campuses so that people who don't live on this side can virtually attend on the other side. That was just kind of our idea of how we might be able to sort of maximize productivity and openness.
Have it at a set location.
Yeah, just do it live, just pick a location, pick a room, get that room from whatever time to whatever time, every Tuesday or Thursday or something, if that's doable. And then sort of let people attend remotely by going to other campuses.
Well, we'd have to check it. So the only room available would be the board rooms. So we'd have to check for availability. And then one of the challenges with having set times is the bargaining unit members' schedules as well. That's the only issue, but we can look at that.
When starting in terms of.
On a weekly
more
basis.
Weekly meetings,
Right.
starting when, starting.
Summer?
Yeah, whenever, I guess whenever we
We're
convert to the
scheduled up
4-day.
through May. Now,
We already have on.
Yeah.
I only can look day in advance based.
We can look at it.
Yeah, why don't we look at that and see, you're thinking Tuesday or Thursday?
most of us teach and we work our schedules that we're working Monday, Wednesdays teaching, so Tuesday or Thursday would be most of the bargaining here.
All right, let us take a look at starting in June, availability of room and our side on Tuesdays and Thursdays then for the next 3 or 4 months out. And I'll shoot you an email and say, here's what we can do, here's what's available, we're not available this Tuesday, or room's not this Tuesday, maybe we do that on the 13th. I think we need to do some research on that, but get you that in the next week or so.
Yep, we can work on it.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll get that. We'll see you guys in 3 weeks. Thanks. I'll email you copies of the Word documents.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.